good afternoon, good evening, people. We are live in 3, 2, 1. No, we're already live. And I have got questions for you. What opens with me saying, yay, the black folks are doing the right thing for the black person who's overweight with high blood pressure. Whoop, whoop. And what closes with me saying, no, we not out here using the N-word, are we? On a group of women, black professional women? No. If you guess Married to Medicine, season 5, episode 14, DNA D-Day, you're correct. Thank you so much for joining live. Welcome. Thank you for the like, clicking on the video, and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. Let us proceed. I hope you're one of my first 1,000 subscribers. If you aren't, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Okay, so yay, we got Toya and Dr. Eugene. Oh, it's Dr. Eugene at the beginning and at the end. We got Dr. Eugene acting like he got some sense in the beginning. They at Dr. Jackie's office. He's working on a weight loss plan. So we're super here for that, because it was kind of, I'm like, I don't want to hear that the man has high blood pressure. Yeah, I remember in season 5, episode 13, we heard he had high blood pressure and he needed to go to the hospital. The next thing I want to hear is that he's healthy and getting better. So, okay, we happy about that. Then, this is the montage. So we see Dr. Contessa, she's at work. We see Dr. Simone getting her oldest son, who's about to go to college, asking, do we need to get you a box of condoms? And little baby boy is like, yeah, get him a box of condoms so I could borrow some, I guess. He just excited. Or I guess he want to set the precedent. So when he go away, he get his free complimentary box. I guess they have them all over the high schools and the colleges anyway, don't they? And then we see Jewel in Dr. Heavenly's chair getting some dental work done. And then we do the old switcheroo where Dr. Heavenly is in Jewel's virtual chair getting some spiritual work done. Being counseled by Jewel. And, Dr. Heavenly is like, I joke around and I say that my marriage is perfect, but we are in a good place. And, Jewel is like, look, basically based on what you told me, I'm going to have to agree with the people. You were asking them to do and give what you were not willing to do and give. You got to lead by example, mama. Transparency and vulnerability. If you want them to be that, you got to be that. You got to do that. You got to get at. You got to show that. Right? Okay, so that's Dr. Jewel giving a, hey, Rowdy Chica 59, hello. So that's not Dr. Jewel, but Jewel giving her, I don't know if she's a doctor or not, but giving her perspective. And then we see a flashback of the DNA kits that they took in the Barbados, and Heavenly reveals that she's going to do a DNA reveal party. Did I miss the scene where they did? Thank you for the like. Did I miss the scene where they did they took the DNA kits, or that was unshown footage? I think they said it was unshown. Okay, so we see Dr. Simone, she's waiting at a restaurant for Quad, who's 45 minutes late. I guess if it's a TV show, or maybe some people's personalities are like that, but I'll give people a 15 or 20 minute grace period. At about 15 minutes, I'm like highly annoyed. By 20 minutes, if they get there within 20 minutes and they're reasonable, I could probably damp down. But who's sitting up waiting on somebody for 45 minutes in a restaurant? You hungry people eating this? I'd have been, yeah. Okay. And then I guess on these shows, people are late all the time, because on the next 15 minutes or whatever, when we were getting a lot more of the behind the scenes type, I was like, oh, I was understanding more how it worked. And then when she comes in, the child, Quad, when Quad comes in, Miss Quad, Dr. Simone is like, girl, you got to stop being late. And Quad is like, yeah, I've been working on that. And let me apologize for being late. I can't really mock Quad the way that she talks and the way that she uses language. But I guess because the way she talks and the way she uses language seems fake and unnatural to me, it gives me like a fake and unnatural feeling about how she carries herself and how she interacts with people. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't think she's a good person. I think she's a striver. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being a striver. But, yeah. So that whole, yeah. Simone, I guess, she being paid to be there or whatever. They got a call time and she just gonna shoot her scenes and go on about her business. Um, so, and so Dr. Simone apologizes as well. I wasn't trying to call you out, and we're all sensitive. And Quad is like, yeah. And then they show footage of, Simone, hey, yes or no, you are it. She gets she seems to be a little on the high strung side. But Simone is like, we don't always share some of the hard truths with you because, of how you are. And Quad is like, well, I was thrown off by the delivery. You can always come to me. Anyone can come to me because I'm the kind of person that people can come to. You can come to me because I am Quad and you can always come to me. But if you come, you must come correct. Now, that's not an example because we use come correct all the time. That's not an example. But it's something about how that even on the TV show, my mother loves Sister Circle. And now I notice I can't hardly say nothing about Quad if we're watching Married to Medicine together. And I say something about Quad, it's kind of like, I think I might get cut. I got to watch in my peripheral vision to make sure my mama don't lunge at me and cut me over Quad. Because she and I asked her about it. I said, so you Quad in Sister Circle? She said, no. I said, okay. I see what's going on. All I ask is that if you come correct. And then we see the interview with Dr. Simone, and she is like, she does not take criticism well. And then Simone is like, well, let me ask you about your marriage, changing the subject. She's talking to Quad. Quad is like, well, I've tried everything, and then Ben is bringing her food. Now, Ben is the waiter. Oh, Ben, what do you have for me today? Oh, Ben, that is lovely. Oh, Ben, this is fabulous. Oh, Ben, that's wonderful. Ben. I'm like, Ben did not prepare the food. He just took it from the kitchen and brought it to you. Now he ain't even go in the kitchen. He out here on this side. So we can damp down on, that aspect. Now, he might be a great waiter, Mr. Ben, but yeah, Ben. Okay. So then we're at Dr. Jackie's house, and I'm all happy about seeing the cut up of the fresh fruit. Imagery is important. The doorbell rings, and it's Mr. Fancy Car Curtis, and I'm kind of like, oh, okay. And then, oh my gosh, Fancy Car Curtis is moving back in. And Dr. Jackie is nervous but excited. She wants him to stay downstairs in the guest room. I want him to stay out of the house, period. But, I'm not in the relationship, so I really don't know. But just the way it's been edited and what I've seen, I guess everybody's personality is different. So, some people might wait on somebody 5 minutes. Some people might wait on somebody 30 minutes. Some people might, I don't know, and then never having been in that situation, I don't know how I would respond to somebody cheating on me. I don't know. I mean, if I was in a situation where somebody was cheating on me, I didn't know they were cheating on me. I don't know how I would respond to it being public, him talking about it was a But anyway, she's nervous and excited, and that's what counts because we're doing a recap and a review on her on the show. Dr. Heavenly is in the car. She's in the car, and she's describing her concept of a DNA reveal party to Toya. And Toya is concerned about, Dr. Heavenly's social leadership skills, but she's like, okay, we'll do this DNA reveal party thing. Quad and Dr. G, she's washing dishes because they're about to have folks over. And I'm like, oh, is this couple support group thing that they did? And it is. It's their marital focus group, they call it. And she says basically in her interview that the things are the same as they were before the trip. I'm like, I don't know how they didn't get worse because it looked bad, but maybe we're just seeing how they've been behaving since before they were married. I don't know. It just looked bad to me. And so Dr. G is like, you don't understand how hard it is. He's talking to the support group. And yeah, he's, they having a little, and it's the 6 of them sitting down. It's 3 couples in total. And Dr. G is saying that the people can't understand how hard it is because basically Quad is very selfish and very mean and very nasty. And unless she wants to stop, she's not going to stop. And Quad is like, I have been there for you. And Dr. G is like, you've been there for me like a buddy, not like a wife. And Quad is like, that is utterly disrespectful. I know all of your friends and they don't do for you what I do for you. And then there was something I kind of missed about how she was at a nail salon and he wanted to talk to her. I don't know if it was on the phone or if he wanted to, now if it was on the phone and he wanted to talk to her at the nail salon, I wasn't quite clear what the issue was. So I don't know if he came into the nail salon and was like, we need to talk about this right now. Do y'all know what happened? Because she was upset that he wanted to talk to her at the nail salon when there was like 15 people there. And Dr. G kind of his position is like, oh, I'm so sorry that, I was interrupting your pampering session with, something, from my very important life. I wanted to talk to you about something important while you were being pampered. So I apologize. And then he go put his hand on her thigh. And quiet, if we watch her body language the whole time, she's been turned away from him. She's, kind of been crossed also, not full cross, but, it's a partial cross. But he put his hand on her thigh. She said, don't touch me. And I was kind of like, oh. We saw it from the previews, but when I saw it in real life, I felt bad. I felt bad for the man. I felt bad for her. I'm like, it's not good. And then one of the guys is like, we're gonna stay calm. And Dr. G is like, cause you full of shit. That's worse stuff. You full of skit. He's telling Quad, and then he falls out on the floor and he's like rolling around. And then the guy is like, I used to think the same thing. I guess he was being dramatic. I didn't really understand it. It wasn't really cute. It was definitely out of step with the context of the group. I think as uncomfortable as I was watching it, I think the people there were uncomfortable with it. Now, maybe it was funny to some people in TV land, but I just was kind of like, I don't understand. I don't understand. So one of the guys is like, hey, G, I used to feel the same way, about, my wife, and that my stuff was more important than her. And, she's raising kids. And Dr. G is like, see, this one over here don't have no kids. And Quad is like, in her interview, you will never get that gift from me acting how you act. And then to him, she's like, go on and get you a wife who will give you everything that you need. And then G leaves. And then the other couples are looking kind of weird, like, and I'm kind of looking kind of weird. And then Quad is like, and I'm supposed to love him? I'm supposed to love that. She says, I'm supposed to love that? This whole scene, like the way it felt to me, I felt like there's sincerely something wrong with their relationship. Like, I don't just think, I think Quiet wants out of the marriage, but I think it's something wrong with, their dynamic. I'm not trying to say, it's probably something wrong with Dr. G, but I don't know him. But I do know that you can have a dynamic in your relationship and how you relate to one another. And it can just like amplify and like feedback. Like you get this feedback loop and it can be like crazy. And y'all get in other relationships with other people and you're totally like normal and sane. They seem like, something seemed like it's wrong with that. Like sincerely. Like I guess before I was kind of like, people are like, well, quiet, just now that she done got to come up, she wanna, but I don't know if, yeah, it was kind of, and then I guess the other couples, to me, I feel like they're like real people, and they seem like sincerely like uncomfortable and confused at him, not at her, like it, yeah, yeah. Okay. Welcome in. Thank you for the like. Okay, so then we have Dr. Contessa. She says she's overwhelmed with work and working. She's full-time and parenting, just as she gets a chance. And now that she does not have Nanny Renee, it's very, very difficult. Dr. Scott tells Dr. Contessa that she missed the recital that day because she's like, oh, they're talking. I had to stay late because of this and this. He like, you got to say no. And she like, yeah, I do need to say no. And he like, well, you missed baby girl's recital today. And she's like, you can tell she's feeling a way about it. And she said she wanted to be there. She wanted to be attentive, but it always feels like her children are an afterthought, like they get what's left over. And I think that different people can negotiate, separate, some people are really good at separating things out. Like me, I'd be like, I work from 9 until 5 or 9 to 3, and then I would know in advance what activities the children were doing, and that would be on my calendar. Don't schedule anybody after this time, and if they come in, oh well. Now maybe that wouldn't make for a very successful business, I'm not really sure. And I guess because in all of the businesses I've had, I've always, hey sweetie, just stopping in to show some love, yay, hope you have a wonderful blessed weekend. You too. I guess in all of the professions that I've been in, although when I worked with young people, but it's a different, like, I guess in my professions, it's not urgent. And a lot of times I've thought, well, there are no Mary Kay emergencies. So if you didn't, I done gave you you ain't get your mascara, you ain't get your lipstick, you ain't get your skincare, I done gave you the stress, like, I can't be, when I'm not working, I'm not going to be working, and I want to be happy in my life. So I can't, this is how I have to balance stuff out. But I can understand how some people, they're different with that. Like they would get to the office and then they're in the vibe and then somebody presents themselves. And I think a doctor is different. Like, even in my clothing store. But if I had someplace to go, if somebody just presented themselves, no Mary Kay emergencies, if somebody just presented themselves at my clothing store and I didn't have anywhere to go, I'm like, hey, we can kick it. You know what I mean? But if somebody presented themselves and I was on my way out, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here, but I am on my way out. I'm so sorry. But I think that's different from, like, I guess with she's an internal doctor. Oh, I got cramps, I'm sick. And you looking at the person and she feel bad and they feel bad and she just, I don't know how she have it set up, but she don't seem like she's doing a good job of creating boundaries if she feels like her children are an afterthought. And she ain't even know she missed a child's recital. I mean, she don't have a schedule. You look at your schedule, especially her, she a professional woman. You look at your schedule, but anyway, and she says, they basically are going back and forth. And she's like, we can live on your salary, husband, Dr. Scott. And I'm going to take a break. And, I miss my mother's death. I miss this important thing in my child's life. I miss that important thing in my life. And I can't tell you, oh, I miss my mother's death. But you know what I was doing at work? I was doing an exam for Mary Sue. Like whatever she missed those times for, it's like it hasn't been replaced with anything that she feels is memorable or valid. Not to say that it wasn't important at the time, but long term looking back on it, she's like, I'm not really feeling it. And so Dr. Scott, $5,000 do at work that's $5,000 important. Oh, there's nothing at work that's so important, not 5,000. And Dr. Scott is like, I'm the man, I support you. Now I thought from the last interview that we was gonna have some tension with this stay-at-home thing, but he said, I'm the man, I support you, and we gonna move on. And then she said she gonna give 2 weeks notice. So I'm kind of like, well, what kind of work situation is she in? When I have worked retail, I could give 2 minutes notice. Like, the last retail position that I left, other jobs I have given 2 weeks notice, but the last retail position I worked, it was like we were going back and forth and back and forth. And I'm like, okay, well, here are my keys. Have a great holiday season. Goodbye. Like I gave like 2 seconds notice. It was escalating, and that's what, but in a professional context, when I've left, I had to get stuff set up for the next person. I had to get, I couldn't give no 2 weeks notice. And I don't want to say that the retail jobs or whatever are not real jobs, but I'm just saying there was more involved in leaving than could be handled in 2 months. 2 weeks. So I was kind of confused by the whole 2 weeks notice. I'm like, is she the front desk person or is she the doctor? Is it her practice? I didn't understand, but I don't know much about medicine. And then I saw a commercial. And I can't remember what it was for, but I wrote, yes, come through Chitlin Circuit. Your hubby is cheating on us. Oh, your husband is cheating on us. Is it coming April 1st? I'm so looking, because I'm a theater person. So I just feel like theater people are the best because we are crazy. So I imagine it's just going to be good TV. I just think it's just going to be really funny to see people, because I promise you, if you go you could go to the show that we're working on now and just sit in the audience and watch the people, and it would probably be funny because they're crazy. I mean, me too. I'm not saying, but so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so we're at the DNA reveal event that's been set up. It's at some rented hall, and I'm kind of confused because it's like, I'm thinking of, in my mind, Atlanta is like a mecca of black businesses, but this seems to be a hall that they rented from a white guy, or he seems to be the representative. So I'm kind of like, I'm not really, I just feel like, can we find a black hall for the DNA African reveal thing? But I guess not. Alora is kind of like upset about her daddy putting on an African top. I was a little confused by that. She had on something that seemed like a little ethnically inspired. Her father was coming from work. Mama Heavenly, Dr. Heavenly, had like a dashiki, African inspired top or whatever for him to put on. He said he felt uncomfortable and embarrassed. So Laura was like, take it off, take it off. Now, it didn't look, maybe all of that was over my head in terms of what the issue was. But, I mean, I'm glad that he had that on instead of his scrubs, because some people, cleaned up and looked really nice for the event and looked like they put some thought and effort and energy into it. So I thought it was nice of his wife to bring him something to wear, but I don't know. Okay, so I like Contessa's one piece. Somebody was dogging it out, but I didn't get a chance to just study it because I was taking notes. But the couple glances that I got of it, was cute. Most folks look nice and like they tried. Jackie says that her dress is from Saks because somebody's like, you got that from Saks. So she got, she didn't. So she went to, she didn't go like to some African or black owned business and try to throw a little bit of $20, $50, $100 their way. She just went to her closet and wore her regular old dress from Saks or whatever. And then Jackie tells the group that Curtis is back in our house, she says. I thought that was really interesting. Dr. Contessa announces that she's 2 weeks out from leaving her job. Simone says that she has no regrets about being like a working mother. She loves her job and she doesn't really feel like she missed anything, by being, so much focused on work, which I thought was like a really significant, because I think different people are different. I think that there are some people who, like one of my Mary Kay sisters, she was like, oh, I'm doing Mary Kay so I can stay at home. And she said after about 2 weeks of being at home, she was like, I don't want to be at home. And then there are some people who, they be at home for 25 years. And that's what, like, everybody's personality is different. And, I feel like it's good to be able, I think it's wonderful that you can choose to do that. That Simone didn't have to be forced to be at home, because some people would be crazy, some people feel like they don't want to be around children all day. That's not really their personality. That's not their strength. Probably if they were forced to do it, they'd be the ones pinching their children low key, and acting crazy because they mad and they pissed and they frustrated. And then on the other hand, if the woman has the resources and can come home, and I think everybody should have the resources to be a parent if they want to be a parent in that way. But anyway, so we got that coming up, or whatever. Dr. Contessa, the blah, 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 blah. Dr. Heavenly sets up, she's on the mic, which was confusing to me because I'm like, it's only about 15 of them in there. Why they got a mic? They can't hear each other. How many of them? It ain't enough for a mic. She gets on the mic to announce to the folks that the Caribbean food buffet is open. Dr. Eugene is like, I wonder who the blackest is, and Quad is like, why are you looking at me? And I was kind of like, I wonder if it kind of made me feel like, is this group of people comfortable with their blackness? What's going to happen at this reveal? When people, how are people going to, how do people, because does anybody have natural hair? I mean, it just seems like, and then the whole Saks outfit and, the renting from a white person or whatever. It just seemed, and I don't even understand, like, they're doctors. So I would assume that they would have some space in their home that would be big enough, like a Thanksgiving dinner, to accommodate an event of, 15, 20 folks. And maybe they just really want to minimize these folks in their house because they're not really their friends. But I'm like, I don't even know why they renting halls and mics for this type of event anyway. The results are in. And apparently only the women got tested. I was confused by that because I wanted to hear everybody's results because I've been watching YouTube videos on DNA results. So Toya, she's 79% Sub-Saharan African. Mariah is 85.6% West African. And she said, I still have Indian in me. And somebody said, yeah, you got that Indian in you every night. And she said, every other night. And I was like, that was kind of funny. They be kind of funny sometimes. And then, oh, I don't know who this was, but 74% sub-Saharan, not black, did not come from a place of love. Oh, this must have been Contessa. She said she ain't worried about that other part because she said she's basically 100% black, and the other part that's in her that's not black did not come from a place of love. So I was like, okay, she has sort of a certain consciousness about it. I mean, that's a workable theory. I don't know if it's necessarily true, but I understand why people think that. And probably 9 times out of 10 times it is true. Dr. Jackie is 70% sub-Saharan. She seemed a little self-conscious about that. Dr. Simone is 77% African. Quad is 90% West African. And Dr. Heavenly is 80% West African. So Quad was the blackest of the black. Why are they speaking into the mic? Toya says that she's leaving the Barbados thing in Barbados. Some stuff happened, but she's just going to leave it in Barbados. Toya talks about Quad. There was some altercation that they had about BCBG, which is a company, a clothing company that Quad works for as a brand ambassador. Toya said they were out to eat or whatever, and Toya said, oh, I heard that they were going into bankruptcy. Now, I don't know how she said it. She might have said, I heard they were going into bankruptcy. And maybe that's how Quad heard it. I don't know. But it became an escalation to where Quad was like, well, I heard you're $170,000 in debt. Or, it's like this tit for tat. And Toya said she ain't mean it no way. She was like making conversation, but Toya took it as an offense. She was hurt. So they went back and forth. And then there's a whole conversation here about Toya, Quad needs a job. And then Quad is like, oh, I need a job. And I don't know if they were saying, you need a job because your marriage is rocky and you're not going to have a source of income. So yeah, you need a job. And then Quad is like, you need a job too. And then and Quad is like, I should have a job. You need a job more. And then Dr. Simone is like, in her interview, she like, they both need jobs. I mean, they both don't, neither one of them need jobs. They both housewives. Their job is to take care of their doctor husbands, which I thought was really regressive of Dr. Simone to say. Was her husband's job, I don't know. I was just kind of like, that's what she thinks for real. And then Dr. Daddy leaves because he's not interested in fighting. Damon is like, all of this back and forth. I'm leaving. But his wife, Dr. Heavenly, is like, do you want me to leave? He like, do whatever you want to do. So I think she ends up staying. There's more arguing. Dr. G, Mariah is like in the interview, if I cut off everyone. Oh, because Quad is basically like, you're cut off. Then I will never speak to you again, in her dramatic, over the top way. And Mariah is like an interview. Now, if I cut off everybody who I had a disagreement with or a difference of opinion with, I would have to be a hermit. And interestingly enough, over the last couple episodes, I think that Quad is going down in my estimation and Mariah is going up in my estimation. And I didn't know that I was like anti-Mariah or pro-Quad, but I guess that, I'm noticing that I'm looking at them both kind of differently. Like, I'm like Mariah, like, and Quad, I'm like, Okay, so Dr. G is like, come on, guys, go with me. Let's go. And I had told my wife in confidence that when these women get together, they act like a bunch of bleeps. And I was like, was it biatches? Like, what did he say? I don't understand. What happened? And then I think it was Negroes that he said. I think he said the N-word. And folks are really upset, especially Dr. Contessa. She seems very bothered. The men are alone and, kind of talking. And they're like, this is some old stuff. What's the difference? And I agree. He said the N-word. Yeah, well, when Dr. Contessa was basically like, I think it was her. She was like, was it her? She's like, we are at a DNA African reveal party and you're going to use the N-word on a bunch of professional women. Like, that's kind of that's where I kind of was like, I think it was the N-word. But anyway, the men are together and they're talking to Dr. G and not Doc G, but Eugene. And they're like, you need to apologize. And Dr. Eugene, they go back and forth, but he eventually apologizes. And, he's like, I lumped all of you together and the word is offensive. And I want to see us heal as Black people and y'all got to do better. I think it's probably very confusing to be on this type of show. because I don't think these people necessarily act this way in real life. So I think it's probably very confusing. And I think he probably got out of the show zone. It's like in theater. You on the stage. You got to stay in theater world. You're in Married to Medicine world now. Or maybe he did it just for drama. But it was kind of like, it was not a good look. And I have to loop back because I didn't quite catch all. It was so much going on. But Quad is like, and I got more jobs coming. And Dr. Simone is like, you can't say nothing to her. That's what I was talking about. So, but it ended basically with Dr. Eugene apologizing. So that was Married to Medicine. Yeah. So I don't know what I give that episode. I think I'd give it a B. It was okay. What would you give it? Did you like it? Was it good? Did you see it? Did you enjoy it? Yeah, that's all I got. I do still have one more episode of Making a Model that I have notes for to review. I'm doing notes on the news feed today. I don't watch too much TV or reality shows, but when you do your reviews and recaps, you do it perfectly. Very good. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I don't want to say you're not missing anything, but sometimes, yeah, I try to balance it out, in terms of watching too much BS and chaos and confusion, and also just feeling like everything is so serious all the time. So I try to find my happy medium so that I can, feel like a human being or something. I don't know, girl. I don't know. Shoot. Because sometimes they get on my nerves, but the ones that really, really get on my nerves, I stop watching. But that's what I got. So notes on the news feed is next. I'm also doing hashtag BeFabulousYou today, although I don't know what letter we're on. I think we did networking yesterday. So in O, I don't know what O is, so I have to look and listen. But that's what I got. I'm Angela again. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all of those wonderful things that help build the channel and build us past that 1,000 subscriber charter mark to more and more and more and all of that other good stuff that the people say. But the most important thing is today and always, be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Thank you for the like. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you.